Hi, I want to make this video to kind of kill two birds with one stone, but I want to explain how we as spiritual people, spiritual creators as well, our opinions change, our beliefs change, our perceptions change. And not just for spiritual creators, but anyone spiritual, well, any human in general. We live, we learn, we grow, things influence us, life experiences, they shape us, change us. So it's natural that things from even a year ago are not going to be the same as now. We're ever evolving, and that's the way I am with my practice and my beliefs. I'm open-minded. Never say never, because there are times where I have said, nope, that's it, and I've been proven wrong. And so I want to make this video to explain a couple of things about how my perception has changed, how my beliefs have changed, my takes on things have changed, but also how it's kind of wrong to have a hard line on some things. So I'm giving you my example, showing myself up here to explain this. So let's get into it. Now, if you're new, welcome, and if you're not new, welcome back. I am Sarah, that divination witch, and this channel is a witchy community and safe space. Feel free to ask questions, nothing silly, we don't judge. If you want to join, all you got to do is hit subscribe. It is free, you may as well. And if you want to support me or the channel, all of my links are below. I offer readings, I've got a website, Etsy, I've got Patreon, teaching lots of different things on there about magic and Hecate, and we're going through the Year of the Dark Goddess, which is a path working, like there's all sorts going on. So if you want to check it out, I'd be so grateful. It's just below. Thank you. The example I'm going to give you has been recently highlighted to me thanks to YouTube comments. Like sometimes things come to me because I get comments on it. I can't always reply to my comments. I try to, but sometimes the ones I'm meant to see, I am meant to see. That's what it feels like. And this, I feel, was something I was meant to see. There is a bonus lesson in this as well as please as well. Just want to quickly get it out the way. Don't jump to conclusions about me or about anyone else, because jumping to conclusions, you can sometimes find yourself very wrong. Okay, so bear that in mind. So the story goes, okay, when I first started my social media journey, I was on TikTok, and I am no longer on TikTok. I don't like TikTok. But I did start social media, TikTok. And the way TikTok, at least it used to work, probably still does now, it's very instant gratification. And when you put a video out, it hits the algorithm, it either gets views or not, and then that's about it. It's not like YouTube with the long form content. It's not like YouTube where it also works as a search engine, because YouTube as well, you've got your content that does hit the algorithm, goes viral or whatever, or gets some views, and that's it. And then you've got timeless content, which is kind of like, you're searching for something, you want an answer. It could be literally anything. I mean, I've looked up YouTubes on DIY and stuff like this, that would be classed as that. So in a spiritual world, one of my videos about Hecate comes up in search results and helps people who are wanting to know about her for the first time. So that's an example. With that being the case, when I first moved to YouTube, I brought a lot of my shorts over, or my TikToks over, as YouTube shorts. Because the way it works, I've noticed, and I didn't realise, your shorts kind of get views after years and years, unlike on TikTok. Like, they just randomly get views. And there must be a few of mine in the algorithm that I didn't realise at this point. Now I do. But this literally happened last night, and that's why I feel it's important to bring it to the forefront now at time of filming. I had a video about a hot take I used to have about Hecate and the cliff oath, which is ironic because if you're not new, you'll know that this is something I'm currently going through, and I'll explain briefly what it is, but check out the channel if you want to know, all right? But I basically said that she's got nothing to do with that, and that used to be a hill that I would die on few years back. I've took 3-4 years at this point. It was a hill that I would die on. I did make long form videos about that as well when I first started on YouTube, which have since been removed because I realised my perception has changed. I don't believe that anymore, okay? And I'll explain why. But I removed the long form ones. A few months back, maybe even a year, I don't know, at this point, I did make an updated one, but I might have to make another one, okay? Given my experience now, all right? But yeah, my perception changed. I no longer believe that. I got a comment of someone, and rightfully so, basically saying on this short that I didn't realise was still there. It had nearly 30,000 views and I hadn't clicked. So it must be in the algorithm still, because they found it and commented saying that Hecate is everything, etc. And they're right, she is. That's my view now. And I'm still learning, still growing. Things can change, So I replied, basically saying, yeah, I actually agree. This is a really old video, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to remove the short. So I privated it. This person jumped to conclusions. This is why I said about jumping to conclusions, and commented on another video saying you shouldn't block people, blah, blah, blah. Because if you went to reply, that video isn't there anymore. So it'll give you an error or whatever. I haven't blocked you. I haven't done anything of the sort. I actually agreed with you. My perception changed. And I replied to a comment on another video, the left, saying, look, I didn't block you. I was agreeing. And yeah, the rest is history. That's no big deal per se. It's just I do get a lot of people jump to conclusions about me. Don't just jump, because I've done it too. I'm guilty of it too. But you normally get to the wrong conclusion. So in that case, it was wrong. I didn't have a beef with you. We're fine. I just had a different opinion. I didn't realise, oh shit, my hot take's still up. So back then, my understanding of Hecate, see, I've worked with her knowingly since 2018. My understanding of her even in 2021 was different to what it is now. You see, when you're on a spiritual journey, any journey, not just Hecate, but the more you learn, the more you grow, the more you realise you have to keep an open mind and never say never, because you will be proved wrong. And this is something she has proved me wrong on. My understanding of her was that she's a Hellenic titaness, a Greek goddess of witchcraft, She is way more than that. That is just one of her guises. And the more I know her, the more I am close with her, the more I learn from her, the more I see that. Now, at that time, I was speaking from ego, and we all need an ego. We all have an ego. I still have an ego. I'm not going to dismiss that. But I was very speaking from ego because my exposure about the Clifforth was from edgelords who I still believe don't have it fully right. You see, what the Clifforth is, to explain, it is the dark side of the tree of life. It's the tree of death. It's the flip side. And there are a lot of egoic people in the modern age that talk about it from a sense of going through a process, doing rituals, all this stuff for power. They're going to it for the wrong reasons. And there's a lot of books and things on this that have some hot takes of their own in it. That's like, what? Some people say Hecate controls it and all this, and kind of label her to be this dark, evil bitch, basically. Now, she is much more than that, and that I had a bee in my bonnet at the time, as they say in England. So that annoyed me, because I know Hecate, even back then, I knew her lighter side, her motherly side, her nurturing side. And I was like, how dare you? Because, I'm protective of my peoples. I see Hecate, I know she's a higher power, and I'm learning. This is something she's had me learn. Sarah, I don't need you to fight my battles. But she is like a member of the family to me. And I would go into war for people I love. That's the way I am. I'm loyal like that. Even my friends, you hurt my friend, that's me. But you betray me, that's also something I wouldn't want to be you. I'm just saying. I've always been like that. So that's why I had that hot take. But Hecate, over the years, I've realised she is more than a hell goddess, a heaven goddess, or whatever. She is everything. She is nature in a name. You know, she is nature in a name. That's all I can describe her as. She's creation in a name. And I'm not saying she is the only creator or the only name for the creator. There are other goddesses and gods that are named and so powerful in that way, but she's an aspect of it, certainly. And so, yes, she can get you onto the Cliffoth or onto the Sephiroth, which is the tree of life, or something totally different. You know, in my experience with Hecate and doing what I do for a living, I do a lot of readings for people. I speak with a lot of spirits, deities and otherwise. She can speak with anyone, any polarity, any level. She just gets respect, and she gives respect. She is just everything. And so for me to have said that was a limit in perspective, and it's because I had a limit in perspective and I was working from my own ego, trying out of the goodness of my heart, trying to battle, I suppose, these fear-mongery things even back then about her, because there's a lot of fear-mongering about her. But remember, those who fear-monger have a limited perception, like I did. They don't see all of her, but maybe from the opposite side, you know, they maybe entered into it wanting this dark, spooky woman, which she can be, certainly, but she can also be a mother and nurturing and caring and protective and all these things. There's a reason in antiquity why she was called upon as a midwife goddess, as a protector of babies and women and children and animals. She loves protecting people as well as kicking ass when she needs to. So, yes, I wanted to share this because it's important to know it, all right? If you are listening to someone's video, not just mine, anyone's, bear in mind if it's older, they might have changed their perspective. But even if it's not older, bear in mind that that is their perspective and let them have it, whatever. But don't let it paint your view, whether it's on Hecate or anything, you know. There are many, because I know Hecate loves so many people, and so many people love her and have felt like I do. And there are many paths out there to Hecate, all right? Dark, light, and everything in between. There are temples in her name and all sorts. And for me, that's just something I don't personally vibe with, but each their own, do what you want. But never let somebody else stop you. If you ever get into something, you know, a path working for Hecate that tells you you must do something a certain way, you're right or wrong, that to me is not Hecate, okay? Whether that's light or dark. So bear that in mind. And bear that in mind for anything spiritual. Things change. And it's important to keep an open mind and never say never. Right now, my path, I am researching and learning things I never thought I would. One such thing in person is Crowley and his work. I, like a lot of other people, used to be like, well, he's an evil guy, don't want anything to do with him. And I'm not excusing everything he's done, but the more I'm learning about him, actually, I don't think he went into it with the worst of intentions. Yeah, he might have ended up crazy and whatever. He was a product of his time as well. It's very much, the media at the time said he was the most wickedest man alive, like the newspapers, and he just embraced it. And that's the way he was. That was his psychology. That was his way of coping. He always called himself the beast and things like this. But I do think there's some areas that isn't quite wrong that he explored and echoes other things. You know, I'm not saying I'm a fangirl. I'm not saying, you know, I'm on his side completely, but again, it's the open-mindedness, you know. People can become corrupt. People can change as well for bad in a way. I mean, my understanding of it, I've spoke about this thing called Wettigo. It's on the channel. Go check it out. It's basically a concept of like a mind virus, but on a spiritual level as well. It's what you call astral parasites, what Christians and whatever might call demons, you know. If you let in bad influences, they can shape you just as much as good ones, you know. And I do think sometimes, not just Crawley, but other occultists, even in modern age, may go into something with a good intention, but get warped, whether it's for their own selfish gain or whether it's an outside influence. That's just an observation I've made. A side note. Alright, but I hope this video helped. Keep an open mind. Don't let one person shape what you believe. Don't just take one person's opinion as gospel, because opinions bloody change. And also opinions are like a-holes. Everyone's got one, but you don't want to see it, eh? And it doesn't mean everyone's right, because at the end of the day, what we are doing is, well, basically it's breaking all the rules, because there is no rules. It's our own personal journey. We've been conditioned as a society as a whole to have some form of rules. So yes, some rules we need, yeah. But like dogma, religious dogma, things like this, we don't need to be preached at. You know, we're learning for ourselves. That's what we're doing. And so what's right for one might not be right for another. But ultimately, we all want to get to the same end, which is a better life, better understanding, all that jazz. Anyways, if you made it this far and you liked it, hit subscribe. Check out the channel for more videos. And until next time, stay safe and stay witchy. Bye-bye.